This is 10.3 part 3, classifying triangles by sides and angles. So the first thing we're going to do is classify the triangles by its sides. Okay, so there are three ways we can classify the triangles, one of which could be scalene, equilateral, and isosceles. And by the way, this should be isosceles, isosceles. Alright, so let's talk about scalene. Scalene means that no sides are equal. Okay, no sides have an equal measure. So we can see that AB is short, BC is long, and AC is a different measurement. So that's called scalene. Equilateral means all sides are of equal measure. And by the way, if it's equilateral, the angles are also of equal measure. So the side and the angles are of equal measure. And by the way, the sides, if you see the slash marks, that's just telling us that all the sides, AB, BC, and AC have the same measure. And finally, isosceles, two sides have equal measure. And the third one does not. Okay, so the two sides are equal. By the way, it also has two equal angles. Okay, so two angles have equal measure. Okay, all right, so isosceles, two angles have equal measure, two sides have equal measure, and then equilateral, all three have the same measurement, the sides and they'd have different measurements for the angles. The angles are all, by the way, 60 degrees for equilateral. And now we're going to do classification of triangles by angles. So we're looking at angles this time around. So we have acute, obtuse, and right. Acute means that all the angles are acute, meaning that all the angles are less than 90 degrees. So when we talk about this in class, I talk about acute sounds just like that, cute. Usually things that are little are cute. So all the angles have to be less than 90 degrees. Okay, obtuse. One angle is obtuse, meaning that that angle is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Okay, so obtuse has a big angle in there. Again, has one big angle, the other two are acute, but the one big angle, the obtuse angle, has to be greater than 90 but less than 180. And finally, a right triangle means that it has to contain a right angle. And remember that a right angle equals 90 degrees. Okay, and we can see that right here. I'm going to highlight it. That is the right angle. By the way, the other two angles have to be acute, because remember that these angles have to sum up to 180. So if 90 is already taken, then B and C have to add to 90 degrees. Okay? You don't have to know that. I'm just telling you for your own well-being. So one angle of an isosceles triangle measures 40 degrees. Find the measure of the other two angles. So if it's isosceles, then that means that we have two angles that are equal. Okay, so how do I write this up? I'm going to do x plus the given angle, which is 40 degrees, and that has to equal 180. So now I'm going to combine like terms. So x and x is 2x plus 40 equals 180. Now solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 40 off of both sides. So 2x equals 140. Now my last step is to divide both sides by 2. So x equals 140 divided by 2, which is 70 degrees. So both angles measure 70 degrees. So in order to do this one, I had to know 2 bits of information. 1, interior angles of triangles have to sum to 180. And 2, isosceles triangles have to have two angles that are of equal measure. Okay, let's talk about similar triangles. So 2 triangles are similar when their corresponding angle measures are equal and their corresponding side lengths are in the same ratio. Okay, so for this, I want you guys to see that I have angle ABC. Now, pay attention to what's written out because it's written in order and this is going to help you. And then there's like a little squiggly line here. This squiggly right here, this means similar. Okay? And then we have triangle XYZ. Again, the order matters. So, just to show you what's going on with these, if they are similar, if they tell you that, then side AB here is similar to XY. Notice those are the first 2 letters in both of the triangles, AB and XY. So side AB, which is C, if you want to call it that, is similar to side XY. Okay, moving on. Now I look at the next letter. So A, I skip A, BC. So side BC, which is also called A, is similar to YZ, which we're calling X in this case, okay? And finally, we can look at the last letter of ABC, which is C, and it wraps around to A. So AC is going to be similar to, I look at the last letter Z and wrap around to X, XZ, okay? All right, so side B is similar to Y. So I can set up ratios. So if I look at A and X, those are pink, I can write A over X is equal to B over Y, that's the green, is equal to C over Z, which is the yellow, okay? I want you guys to notice that the triangles are ABC, the sides are all on the numerator, and the sides of XYZ triangle are all in the denominator. You do not want to mix and match them because it'll end up having the wrong value, okay? I also want to point out that angle A, the uppercase angle A here, has the same measure as angle X. The measure of angle B has the same measurement of angle Y, and the angle C has the same measurement as angle Z, okay? So in geometry, we use uppercase letters to denote our angles and lowercase letters to denote our sides. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here because I feel like this should be its own video. We're going to start with 10.3. I believe I'm in part 4, but if not, I'll correct it in the video. Thank you for watching part 3.